Finally, we have item number 10, which is a purchase agreement by Montgomery County Land Utilization. Sorry, I will have one more item after this, Mayor. And I would like to call forward Tony Kroger to come up and give a brief presentation on these 72 parcels that we're going to be conveying to the land bank for redevelopment purposes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I would like to give a brief explanation about the 72 parcels that will be transferred to the Montgomery County Land Bank. While the purchase agreement is only for $10, the aggregate value of these lots does exceed $50,000, which is why it has to be, the authority has to be approved by the City Commission. You might say on its face, that sounds like a bad deal. Well, in fact, I believe it's a great deal. The land bank with these properties will embark upon a number of publicly beneficial uses, including new housing, and I will have the land bank briefly describe what that means and how much and all that stuff as it relates to the Ohio's Welcome Home program. But like I said, they will be put towards a range of beneficial uses, which of course has its own economic impact, but probably more importantly, a wonderful land use impact on a couple of neighborhoods, which I will display on the slides here shortly. An important note while we're talking about the economic impact is that getting 72 vacant lots out of the city's hands and to the Montgomery County Land Bank, we project using Public Works estimates that will actually save us over $300,000 over the next 10 years. So we're not going out there and mowing it anymore. It's in the land bank's hands or in the hands of a new homeowner, which is wonderful as well. All of the 72 parcels that are part of this agenda item are in the Madden Hills and Fairview neighborhoods. They're basically zoned for single-family residential, and that is important because that is also the purpose of the Welcome Home program in these neighborhoods. One interesting component to all of this is that some of the Fairview parcels were actually parcels acquired for the NIP demolition program, Neighborhood Improvement Program, Initiative Program. And what that means is at one time on these Fairview lots, there was an awful, blighted, abandoned, tax delinquent, vacant house that was never going to be brought back to life. We used the resources available to us with the land bank to remove that blighted house, and now there's going to be a new house in its place. It's quite a story, in my opinion.
Yes.
So with these 72 lots, the land bank, of course, will determine what the most suitable use is based on the various attributes of each lot. I think this is, once again, a symbol of our partnership with the Montgomery County Land Bank and bringing vacant properties, blighted properties, back to a beneficial state. In terms of locations, they're displayed on the map here. The Fairview neighborhoods parcels are now on the screen. They are basically north of Salem, all in the Fairview neighborhood on streets such as Ravenwood and adjacent streets, kind of scattered throughout a bit. Where there's more contiguous properties, that's probably where you would do the new housing. And others could be side yards or open space perpetually maintained by the land bank that remains to be seen, or just for the purpose of land banking itself. Madden Hills properties to be transferred to the land bank are displayed on this slide right now. These are a little bit larger parcels and more contiguous to one another, better groupings, and those groupings as well are intended to be targets for new housing. But I don't want to steal too much of the land bank's thunder here, so with that I will conclude. If there are any technical questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'd like to call up Emmy Fabick from the Montgomery County Land Bank.
Okay. All right. We good.
All right, Emmy?
Good morning, Commissioners, City Manager. Thank you for having us here. Just echoing what Tony said, we have a great partnership and a wonderful opportunity to support new housing development through funding, close to $7 million through the Ohio Department of Development. So we're really coming full circle in some of these neighborhoods where demolition took place to now embark into new territory for single-family housing on some of those same lots. So as Tony mentioned, there are going to be certain neighborhoods for the new houses, but I just wanted to kind of give you an overview of the entire project because we will be touching about 17 total Dayton neighborhoods. So there will be 4 slated for 10 new houses. Madden Hills, Fairview are in Phase 1, and Dayton View Triangle and Wolf Creek are slated for Phase 2. While that is progressing, those 40 houses, we will be renovating 24 existing structures that the Land Bank has acquired or purchased through the grant funds. So this is really an exciting opportunity citywide. The overall objectives of the grant are really to increase home ownership of owner-occupied structures, and this particular funding source through the Ohio Department of Development is focused on income-eligible residents, so those that are 80% of AMI or below. Those folks that may be stuck in a position renting and not have quite enough funds to break into owning their own home just yet. So this is a little bit of a boost up. For the Land Bank here in Montgomery County, we put a little bit of a special twist on the program where we would like to focus on first-time home buyers, so people who have not owned a home ever before or who have not owned a home in the last 3 years, to provide them opportunity. And this is really a great moment, especially from what we saw in the ribbon cutting last week in Madden Hills, to have workforce housing keeping our jobs here locally, making sure people can live and work in the neighborhoods to keep Dayton strong. So the timeline to use the grant to build all of these houses is very aggressive. We have a deadline of the end of May 2026, and we have ceremonially broken ground last week, but we will be breaking ground this spring. Fingers crossed that we get our permits here in early June. So we have 2 construction contractors building these 40 houses. And as I mentioned before, it's 2 phases and 4 geographies, and this is a version of one of the one-story houses to be built in Madden Hills. So there is quite a positive impact with the goals of this grant, and one of the things is that we are establishing market confidence to achieve new development in some neighborhoods that really haven't seen new houses in probably close to 50 years. And we're also going to attract new homeowners and keep residents where they want to live. And we are working with the neighborhoods collaboratively with Citywide and other partners to make sure that there's been public input on designs such as this. So we really are considering location based upon what we're building there. And that is the end of my presentation. If there are any other questions, I'd be happy to entertain those.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Very exciting, and I was there. It's tremendous, especially with those who are living in the neighborhood already, to see some of these type of developments that are coming to enhance their neighborhoods. So I know we probably have a couple questions from some of my colleagues. Mr. Turner-Sloss?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Ms. Faber?
Yes.
Is that correct? Thank you. Thank you for being here. It is very exciting. I do have a couple questions. Just one note, please. In the future, could you make sure you extend the invite to all commission members? From my understanding, some of us didn't receive that invite, so if you would,
Absolutely.
please.
We'll make sure of that.
Thank
We will
you.
have that for one of the ribbon cuttings.
Okay.
Definitely.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then if our schedule permits, I'm sure that 2, maybe 3, maybe all of us will attend. The more the merrier, right? So in regards to the Welcome Home program, very exciting. Congratulations. Like you mentioned, it is the largest award, I believe, in the state, right?
Yes, it was.
Exactly. And so with that, you talked about the first-time home buyers and that it will attract first-time home buyers. Will the Land Bank partner with the Homeownership Center?
We have a contract signed with both the Homeownership Center and the housing counselors that work with Habitat for Humanity. So we are working with folks that may not be credit ready, and we are also required through the grant to provide a certain amount of hours for the new home buyers for purchasing and understanding how to be a responsible taxpayer.
Great.
So yes, they are a solid partner locked in with a formal agreement.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it fair to say, do you already have some in the queue, some interested parties? Have that
So we have, right now, I think our last count was 4 applications that have come through. We will be doing a very strong push here at the end of the month with a concerted effort and marketing plan, reaching out to all of our partners, churches, neighborhood associations, Dayton Tenants Union, all of the locations where folks may be interested in this program.
And you'll share that information with them?
Absolutely will. Yes,
Thank
we'll
you.
get that over to the city.
If you would, Mike, could you pull your slides back up, please? I want to go to the chart before the timeline, the overview prior to. Yes, okay.
That one.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you. And so I just wanted to also mention, too, you mentioned like there hasn't been any new build in the Fairview area for over 50 years.
Not in Fairview.
Okay.
Fairview built on Auburn, I believe, last year.
Yeah, exactly. I was already saying the
Right, Madden
project
Hills, and then the Dayton View Triangle. Wolf Creek has seen recent
Yes.
development, so,
Okay.
yeah. Mhm.
All right.
Not all
And
the
then-
neighborhoods.
Thank you. The 24 renovations.
Yes.
So that's throughout. What is the process for interested homeowners? Who do they need to contact, or who will be?
So all of the information about the program and the houses is going up on our website. We
Okay.
have a coming soon page with the house listing pictures. So it'll kind of be like going on a MLS, and folks
Okay.
can work with a realtor if they want, but they can come directly to our website to find locations, pricing, the details and characteristics of each house.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's in regards to the 40 new homes, but my question is in
Both.
regards to the.
Yeah, let me
24
clarify. It will be both.
Okay.
So the 40 new builds will simply have their models listed and the location, and then each of the 24 will have listed their exact address and pictures of those houses.
And so the 24
Yeah.
renovated homes, those
Yeah.
are not existing homeowners.
Currently vacant.
They're currently vacant.
Yeah, they are currently vacant houses that we purchased or we got through tax foreclosure.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Kroger. Thank you
Yes.
for that clarification. I appreciate it. I just wanted to see if there was additional dollars available, or there was an opportunity for those who live in those areas, existing homeowners, to tap into for.
Yeah, it is with vacant properties with the
Okay.
grant requirements. Yep, so
Thank you.
we if we find folks that have a repair need, we do refer them to one of our partners, like the Dayton Home Repair Network.
Yes, very good.
Yep.
I was going to ask. if
Yeah,
you all were working-
we've been really spreading a lot of information aside from our grant program when doing outreach and collaborating with like Citywide and other partners. So we're distributing resources where people are in need as we're building right across the street. We do meet the neighbors and attend to the needs that they express.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate the clarification.
Yeah, absolutely.
The builder, have the builder been identified? Has the
Yes,
builder-
both of our builders are local. One of them is called Ohio Regional Constructors. That is a subsidiary of Brandon Homes. That was actually the HBA's, Home Builders Association's Builder of the Year last year.
Okay.
And then also we are working with Jason Morris of Centerstone Homes, and he has built recently down in the Centerville and up in the West Milton area.
Okay, great. I did see in the backup docs, Brandon Homes. I didn't see the center stone, so thank you.
Yes.
And then the correspondence of support. Do we have, Mr. Kroger, do we have anything on record from the various neighborhoods that you mentioned, from the neighborhood associations, adjacent property owners, whatever have you? Is there something in writing?
I don't personally have anything in writing. I know that the Land Bank has been doing extensive engagement in these neighborhoods, and of course, us, along with our Division of Community Engagement, will continue to partner with our partners at the Land Bank for extensive engagement. But I don't have anything in writing saying, this is great. I know that the engagement has been extremely positive, so that's where we're at. But we'll continue to be out there in the neighborhoods.
Okay, so we don't need anything, and my question is around to make sure that everyone is fully aware and that we don't have any surprises or any concerns that may develop during the
Yes.
process.
Yes, we've been working with the Community Engagement Division, and we've had representation from their coordinators at every public
So we
engagement.
do have something in writing if we're working with community engagement, because I would imagine they would send a correspondence out to inform residents that, hey, there's a meeting taking place, here's a potential new development. So there is something to note that we have, in fact, been in communications.
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly the invites and all the evidence that meetings have occurred, certainly.
Okay, thank you.
And the other thing I would just add to that is that this is really just the authorization for the
Right.
72, before we haven't, completed the closing and all that stuff. So that all still needs to occur.
Yes.
Engagement will be ongoing.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. The sale price, the price point, do we have an idea?
So with the grant, we are restricted to have a maximum sale price no greater than $180,000.
Okay. All right, great, thank you.
Yep.
I know there was some concerns around that. And then I think there was too, the point of inflation and just the
Yes.
ability of having the labor shortages and materials and all of that great
Yep.
stuff that goes along with that.
Yes, and we are working hard with our contractors to do price control, and
Yes.
we are locked into our base unit construction costs.
Okay, thank you. And then the other question, this may be for Mr. Kroger and as well as our Community Engagement Division, but have, adjacent property owners been notified? Because, and you raised a very valid point, Mr. Kroger, and I appreciate you identifying or highlighting that point, in regards that some of the lots may be buildable, some of them may be, in fact, extended lots. So once we go through the process, I would just ask, what are the steps that are being made to make sure that if, in fact, there is an adjacent property owner or someone, I've been wanting that lot for the past 10 years, I mow it and whatever have you, so that process is in place and we are in conversation. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I can speak to that point. We have relied on citywide development and their neighborhood coordinators for that direct outreach. They already have established relationships and have gone street by street, notifying people, door knocking, and also have communicated with the neighborhood presidents to reach out to their neighbors for those exact locations. Right now, those locations are only locked in and identified for Madden Hills and Fairview at this point. When we get to that step for Dayton View Triangle and Wolf Creek, we will do the same exact outreach.
Okay. I would encourage, I don't know if you have or have not already, I think you may have some time ago, back in maybe June, July of last year, of course. But I would encourage you to attend the Fairview Neighborhood Association meeting, which is Tuesday, the 27th, and it starts at 6 p.m. at Northwest Library. I was getting ready to say Northwest Recreation Center, but
Yes, of
nonetheless-
course.
Okay, yeah, I would encourage, if you could, just to kind of bring an update, let everyone know, get an idea of the timeline itself. And I think for my, couple last questions. The permit process and the timeline. Ms. Dixine, where are we on that process? I know we are trying to expedite that process. I know we have a couple of concerns there with the labor shortage, whatever have you. But to Ms. Faber's point, and I know I've also received a couple of correspondence in that area, could you just speak to that a little bit and what we're doing to help in that?
Well,
area?
there are a number of things being done with regards to permitting. We're working to be able to, by the end of the year, have electronic review, electronic submission and review. We've already accelerated electronic review for the contractors that we have under contract to assist and supplement the staffing. We're working on some reorganization around in the building department. There's a number of things happening. Clearly, our folks are very, very much aware of this project and are already have an eye to the permit review for this process.
Okay. You said at the end of the year, we're doing the electronic submission and, okay. The only other comment that I would make in regards to as we're building these various areas, and I'm sure we are already on track and aware, but to make sure that we're intentional. And I know we've had conversation with the city manager about going in and looking at those structures that are in fact blighted, because we don't want to do new builds and we have this shiny new house and then next door we have a blighted nuisance structure. So being very intentional about where we put in our dollars, and I know we are, right? That's the reason why we identify these two areas, and this is something that has been well overdue, especially for Madden Hills. I know back in 22 and even prior to, Madden Hills were very adamant about continuing that development. So just making sure that we're intentional, having conversations with the residents, and finding ways and means to leverage our dollars in additional projects. So.
Absolutely, yes, and your thinking is right on point. We're doing exactly that and working with the Housing Department and to address the nuisance structures. So it's really an all-hands-on deck, again, to just brag about the relationship the Land Bank has already established with the city. So we have identified those target areas, and we actually took down a demolition over the winter in Madden Hills just to kind of kick off this project.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I really love the way you're thinking, because
Yeah.
we're right there with you, and I appreciate that. We are being very intentional about this project, and to have the neighbors and the neighborhoods, not be told that the houses are coming, but have them ask, do we want these houses here? And they've all welcomed them. So I really do appreciate, the attention that you're suggesting, and we will continue to do that collaborative work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm very excited. I look forward to the next ribbon cutting. Last point, I've received a couple of concerns, and I think you've already addressed it in terms of Madden Hills. There was some confusion. I don't want to say confusion, but maybe some misinformation in terms of like 1-car garage, 2-car garage, front porch, and making sure that it meets the aesthetics, the current aesthetics of both neighborhoods. So I would just, again, really encourage you all to, which I'm sure you are.
Yep, part of the process is
Okay.
we're working with the contractors
All right.
and bringing them to the neighborhood meetings to dialogue about those.
All right,
Yep.
great.
Thank you
Great
very
job.
much.
Congratulations. Thank you. Look forward to working with you. Thank
good?
you, Mayor. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Commissioner Fairchild.
Yeah, I had a couple of questions. Just thank you, Commissioner, for your
We got
questions. Those were helpful. Many of mine were answered. And I want to say up front to our staff and to your staff, this is incredible work, and it's something long overdue to get away from demo to actually doing neighborhood development again. And so this is very, very exciting to me. Can you help me understand just the economics of this? The price point is 180. I think you said that the base construction cost is already.
The economics of it are, we, the Land Bank, are losing money on this project. We would not be able to do this without the support from the state of Ohio. So on the back end, the Land Bank is taking a hit that our board is prepared and unfortunately needs to happen to pull this off. I can't give you the exact math off the top of my head,
Okay.
But I would be happy to share that with you.
Okay, that's helpful, because, this is the big question about how we do neighborhood development when the
Yes.
cost to build is here, the price
Right.
point is here,
Yes.
the subsidy is here.
Yes.
I'm just trying to figure out how it all works.
Yeah, and right now, it does need to be subsidized, but one of our billers has expressed enthusiasm for the ability to bolster the market in the neighborhoods enough to be able to build and sell a house at market sale.
Yeah.
So that is the ultimate goal, but we need to establish those comps first.
Sure.
Yeah.
What square footage would these houses be?
So one of the models is just under 1,500 square feet. One is 1,350, and one is 1,452.
Okay,
Yep.
that's helpful, because I'm thinking about the triangle, because I live in the triangle.
Yeah.
My 2,000 square foot home I don't think markets at 180, and so I'm again trying to figure out how this.
Yeah.
So I'll work it out. It'll be great if we can sell a 1,500 square foot for 180 and triangle and boost those market values, those
Yeah.
property values back up.
That's the goal. We
Okay.
hope to get there. We'll see how the sales go, but
Yeah.
they won't start at 180. That I will promise you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Have we done community engagement in all 4 of these neighborhoods, or the
We have
first 2?
started to begin the Phase 2 community engagement, so we're establishing communication, have already established communication with Wolf Creek, and we are looking for strong partners in Dayton View Triangle. So I'd be happy to come to your next neighborhood meeting.
All right, well, I'm sure Keegan Sickles is probably watching
Yes,
right now.
Keegan is our point of contact right now,
Yeah.
but I know there's a transition underway. So again, we're working with Citywide as our partner to guide us forward.
Yeah, and the other piece is I'm trying to think about the mix. How does this housing mix meet our saturation in terms of subsidized housing, market
Yeah.
rate? Where do we categorize this kind of housing? Is this market rate, or is this?
So this is market rate housing. These folks will have a mortgage just like you and I. We will get the CRA tax credits associated with that, but this is not LIHTC housing, if that's what you're referring to. If folks have the ability to use a housing voucher, that can go towards their mortgage, but this is not what I would call subsidized housing by look and feel. But it does address an audience of the missing middle, that workforce, those new teachers,
Right.
those nurses, folks that just are kind of bumped out of the
Right.
market, and this is the step that they need.
Great.
Yeah.
No, this is awesome. This is a missing piece. That's very
Exactly.
And then, I know architectural fit, I think, is another question that a lot of our neighborhoods, I know that in Dayton Triangle, we had a Habitat house built. Once it was built, the neighbors are like, that wasn't what we expected, and it doesn't really meet in with the other architecture structures in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So is that question being addressed?
That has been top of our mind since the beginning of our RFP process. So the builders that we selected responded with various products that would match the look and feel of what we presented in our RFP. So all of the neighborhoods have their different zoning typologies, and we included those in there along with physical examples on the locations of the streets we were targeting. So they will match the fabric aesthetically of the street, and giving the neighbors the options and the discussion moments to see what we can build and the types. So that's why what's being built in Madden Hills will not be the same as what's being built in Dayton View Triangle. Each will be its own unique structure.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes.
And just, I appreciate the back and forth with you and Commissioner Turner-Sloss around being strategic and where we place these homes and making sure that we're increasing stability and not putting a property in a place that will
Absolutely.
likely deteriorate if we're not successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, good. Commissioner Shaw.
Yeah, well, my colleaads have asked, and you've answered all of the questions that I had, but I do want to thank you for this great partnership. I think it is going to transform, it is transforming neighborhoods already, so just great hope for the future, and this is the way this program was supposed to work.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
that. Thank you.
Commissioner Joseph.
Also want to add my thanks, and I just want to say that the staff deserves a lot of thanks, as well as your organization too, because this is a culmination of well over a decade of planning. Some of the lots that we see here that are being considered for this project here, the houses were demoed with our 2010, I believe, money, or 2009 money. So it's been a long road to get this to where it is today. This is a dream we've had for a long time, going from walking through neighborhoods with tons of blighted houses to get them demolished, to get new housing up. It's awesome. I really appreciate your tenaciousness, your organization, Ms. Dixon, your tenaciousness, the organization, and my colleagues throughout the years who have been tenacious about this one goal of making sure that we improve our neighborhoods, provide housing to people who need it and deserve it. This is a great day. So I really look forward to the culmination of this program, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, we share that.
Yes, again, very exciting. The time that you have been working on this, and my colleagues as well, and staff, for the last probably 10 years or so. This puts us in a good space. It obviously puts you in a very good position to be able to respond to all the questions that you're getting, because these type of situations were things that were brought to us, again, over the years. So, again, thank you so much for your contributions and your comments.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Okay.